All right, here we go. I'm so tired. Oh God, I'm so ready for a break. You guys have a test. I told you this yesterday, right? You have a test now? When is it? The second Wednesday. Your test will be on Wednesday. God, I'm testing all day on Wednesday. Yeah, write it down. Example 1, the length of a rectangle is 5 centimeters more than the width. Yeah, oh, this is easy. Okay, the area is 84 centimeters squared. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. Give you a second to write it down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm always going to draw a picture, and that's part of the reason I like the worksheet you're going to get today is that there's lots of pictures. And I think pictures are super duper helpful. So first of all, I know I have a rectangle. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. And then I'm going to appropriately label my rectangle. And based on what they tell me, so first of all, the length of the rectangle is 5 more than the width. All right, it's 5 more than the width. Do I know what the width is? No, that's what I'm going to use as a W. W for width, which makes sense, right? I think that's my biggest thing in word problems. These are real life things, so let's use a variable that has meaning. Okay, X and Y is 100% generic. Okay, because you know what words do you know that start with X and Y? Xylophone and yak, right? Okay, all right. Yellow yarn. Okay. At any rate, now I can use my little unknown here to write something for the length. So it says the length is 5 centimeters more than the width. So the length is W plus 5. Very good. Okay. Now the other thing they told me is that the area is 84 centimeters squared. How do you find area of a rectangle? Oh, length times width. And so I can substitute. I know I have a W for the width. And what can I use for the length? W plus 5. Equals 84. And then I need to do what? Distribute. Okay, so W squared plus 5W equals 84. And then move the 84 over. All right, so W squared plus 5W minus 84 equals 0. And 12. Yeah, I'm going to factor that. All of these should factor, I expect. So what? Positive 12 and negative 7. Okay. Which means if we set each bubble equal to 0, we're going to get W equals negative 12 or W equals 7. Which one should we disregard? Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? We can't have a negative length. So that means when they ask for the dimensions, what are they asking for? Yeah. The length by the width. Yeah, so the width is 7. All right, what's the length going to be equal to? Yeah, 7 plus 5, plugging it back in, 12 centimeters. So there you go. 7 centimeters by 12 centimeters. Was that easy or hard? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think everything today, maybe, don't quote me on that. Never mind. Example 2. A square banner had 4 feet added to its width and 2 feet subtracted from its height, which means it must no longer be square. Banner then, after changing things up, had an area of 91 square feet. How long was a side of the original square banner? I did post an extra credit class website under announcement. The extra credit? It's a like 16 or so, somewhere around there. Really would like my chimichangas for tonight. Guacamole. All right. So I think I'm ready to draw a picture. First of all, it was a square, so I'm gonna pretend it's a square shape. And if it was a square, then what would we call each side? S for square. I don't like using S's usually. So I think I will just call it X because S's tend to morph into 5s, right? So I don't like to use them. Thank you. It's a square. In quotes, she says. Okay. All right. So originally it was a square, but then someone decided to cut some stuff or add some stuff. So the square banner had 4 feet added to its width. So I don't know. I'm going to add some 4 to that. Can I do that? Does that seem good? All right. And 2 feet subtracted from its height. So -2, sure. Okay. And then had an area of 91 square feet. So I know if you subtract it, how is it the height? I don't know. Right, this would be the width and this would be the height, clearly. Okay. But I don't know, weird. Okay, I don't know. Doesn't matter. And now with these adjustments has an area of 91 square feet. So how should we, how do we find the area? Again, length times width. So x plus 4 times x minus 2 has to equal 91. I need to multiply that together. What do I get when I multiply these binomials together? -8. Good. Good. And then we need to do what? Subtract the 91. X squared plus 2x minus 99. Yeah. And then we can factor that. X times x is x squared. What times what is negative 99? 11 and negative 9. Very good. 11 and negative 9, which means x equals either negative 11 or x equals positive 9. We can disregard the negative number. So the original side was 9 feet square. Okay, good. Good so far, yeah? Last one. Yeah. Example 3. A diver springs from the edge of a cliff 80 feet above the ocean. Let's see, get some drawing action in here. Have you done that? Like, I think on the Snake River, you can like, there's a part on the Snake River where you can climb up and jump from like a cliff. Or maybe it was the Colorado River that I did that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god. Literally.
All right. So you guys are writing, and I'm drawing a picture. The diver springs from the edge of a cliff 80 feet above the ocean. 80 feet high there. The initial upward velocity of 8 feet per second.
Oh my gosh.
How long? Wow, that was a long fall. How long will it take the diver to reach the water? So he's going to jump, right? Okay.
He's diving.
Or diving. Sure. Still.
He would not go up.
You still jump up.
I'll jump up.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're just going to drop off, but you would still jump.
Gear on, so he's a diver.
All right. Okay. So we want to use the vertical motion physics equation. That's what this is. Negative 16t squared, negative 16 feet per second squared is acceleration due to gravity. Okay. So just in case you've never seen this before, that's okay. I'm going to tell you what everything means. V is the initial velocity. Initial means your starting velocity. So like we can use this equation to represent lots of things, like if you're throwing a baseball or football or jumping or launching a cannon, all sorts of stuff like that. That cannonball or whatever is falling, okay, is affected by gravity. And there's also other things that come into play, but this equation doesn't really take into account. But the initial velocity would be the speed at which you jump, or the speed at which that cannonball is forced out of the cannon. And you can see that here, the initial velocity is upward, so it's positive 8 feet per second. The velocity is this fancy for speed, as in miles per hour or something like that, but we call it velocity because it has a direction associated with it, meaning it's a positive or negative value based on if you're accelerating or decelerating, okay? So he has an initial upward velocity, well, pointed upward, jumping out and away from the cliff, because that would be bad. Okay. And then C is his position above ground. Yeah. Or above the water in this case, yes. So C is your relative position above the ground, or in this case, the water. All right, so we can plug in those variables. H equals negative 16t squared. Our velocity is 8 feet per second, and then his position is 80 feet above the water. And we want to know how long. What does that mean if they're asking how long? The time. Isn't that weird when they say how long? I always thought that was weird how they ask how long, because long would imply length, right? Which I find, bizarre. But they're implying how much time will it take the diver to reach the water. Well, to reach the water, well, what height would he be at if he was at water? Yeah, find T when the height is 0. When he hits the water, okay, he is 0 feet above the water. So we want to know when this is set equal to 0. What do you want to do? Pray. I want to make the numbers smaller. What can we do? Divide by 8. Can I divide by negative 8? I can't do 16 out of 8. All right, so I'm going to divide by negative 8. Minus t minus 10. Oh, does this factor? Yes, it does. Okay. Yes, it does. Okay. It does factor. What times what is t squared? 2t times 1t. And what times what is negative 10? 5 and negative 2. Negative 5 and positive 2. I think I'm going to use. How do you know if you did that right? Check the rainbow. All right, my rainbow says 2t times 2 is 4t. Negative 5 times t is negative 5t, which gives me my negative 1t. Oh, yeah, I did right. Okay, and so we get t equals 5 over 2, or t equals negative 2. T for time. Time in 2.5 seconds to reach the water. 5 halves is 2.5. 2.5 seconds to reach the water. Pretty fast. That's about right. Okay. You have questions for me? All right. Cool.